is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade basketball analysis coming to y'all with a quick video. I wanted to let you guys know I got some new merchandise available, not just t-shirt anymore. I got different type of t-shirt, different type of shirts and logos that you can purchase on my spread shirt, and also hoodies now. We have expanded and added more to the channel and more merchandise for the brand. Thanks for supporting. It will be in the description and the links will be in the comment section below. Thanks for helping me and supporting the movement. Quinn Wade basketball analysis. I'm going. What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade basketball analysis coming to y'all with a quick video. Today we're going to talk about Tom Thibodeau signing 5 years, a long time, a long-term commitment from the New York Knicks. It's crazy. I already told you guys about a couple months ago, 1 month ago, that I'm not really mad at the fact that the Knicks are signing Tom Thibodeau. I still do think he is a good coach. He made the Chicago Bulls the #1 team in the NBA with his defense and his style of play. He helped the Minnesota Timberwolves get to the playoffs the first time in over 10 years. Even though they did lose in the first round, they was a top 4 seed, which nobody seen coming. We knew they was going to make the playoffs. We didn't know they was going to be that great. But they became a great team, even though Jimmy Butler wanted to leave, and that was basically the downfall of the team. Is once Jimmy Butler wanted to be out of there, they couldn't really replace the value that he brought, and they went downhill, and they quickly fired Tom Thibodeau. The biggest problem what I got with Tom Thibodeau signing with the Knicks is I feel like he is a good coach. I just don't feel like the Knicks is the situation for him, just because they fire coaches that give up too much too quick. And it's like you sign a 5-year deal. It sounds good. It sounds amazing. But every coach with the Knicks continually get over 3 to 4 years as a coach, but they never see those 3 to 4 years out. And the management is terrible. I know they brought in somebody new, so I got to give them the benefit of the doubt. I got to see what he's going to do. I had to give him a chance just because he is new. He probably can turn it around. We don't know. We just know that the Knicks has been terribly run. They have been firing GM after GM, coach after coach. They have been trading players, giving up on players, not developing players. And to me, Tom Thibodeau loves the coach. This is what he wants to do with his life. This is something that he has to do, just because working with the Knicks and being in that organization is just chaotic and crazy. And it's just frustrating. I didn't want to see Tom Thibodeau go out the way he did in Minnesota, but they're a bad run organization too, and he basically took the hit for them. And he is a better coach than Flip Saunders' son, but he's not there no more just because he didn't work, and he just couldn't get the talent. And once he got the talent, he just couldn't keep it long enough to be competitive. But he did exactly what they wanted him to do, and he lived up to the hype, and he got them to where they had to go. It's just the coaches and the NBA take the fall and the blame for everything, and I don't want to see Tom Thibodeau go to the Knicks, struggle, or had 1 or 2 years of terrible losing seasons. They only won 21 games this year. And if Tom Thibodeau can't correct it, or if Tom Thibodeau not really showing progress, he's going to be the one that's going to get blamed and get fired, and he's basically going to accomplish nothing in the Knicks. Because when you look at this roster, it's not really too much you can really work with. It's just a bunch of young players and a bunch of veterans that don't really mesh or play well off or with each other, and none of them are great defenders either. And they all in different paths of their career. Some are trying to make a name for themselves. Some are trying to prove themselves. Some are trying to find ways to stay longer in the league and build their brand. And some guys were just on this team just to, survive another couple more years in the NBA. And people basically made the New York Knicks a laughingstock because of signing all the power forwards and really believing that they was going to be good, and they really had a chance, and they didn't even come close to that, as you can see with their record. So the Knicks isn't the greatest place, but they do have to eventually find somebody that can change the culture, change the identity. So you have to give Tom Thibodeau and Leon Rose, I believe, the opportunity to put their imprint on this team. But they're not going to be great right away. They're not going to be amazing until they change this roster. This roster is just not well put together. And on top of that, they got to find out what their identity is. If they're going to go full rebuild, or they're going to try to make the playoffs right away, if they're going to try to trade for a superstar, if they're going to try to draft one and just, wait until that guy develops, because like I said, Frank Ntilikina hasn't looked good. RJ Barrett looks okay at best. Kevin Knox looks terrible. Then you look at other players on this roster. They let go of Alonzo Trier, which was financially done, but he was one of their better players in my personal opinion. And then you look at Mitchell Robinson. He looks pretty good on his team, but he's still very raw. And Dennis Smith Jr. doesn't look good at all. He can't shoot. He can't really score, and he's not the greatest passer, and he's not even close to being a good defender. This team is far, far, far away from really being something that you respect and something that you can really see. But we do have to see it through. We have to give these guys an opportunity to do what they can and put their imprint on this team, and then judge them after that. And I personally feel like Tom Thibodeau is a guy that demands players to bring their best. He demands them to be professionals. He can get the best out of a lot of teams by making them better defenders and more cohesive together on the defensive end. Even though that Minnesota team never was a great defensive team, they was able to be respectable offensively, which is something that Tom Thibodeau has always been criticized for. He's a great defensive coach, but he's not a great offensive coach, and he was able to show that he can make something happen. But it's going to take a while until they rescope and reshape this roster. They're going to be going through headaches just because they just don't have enough talent. They just don't have enough shooting, and they just don't have the guys that's ready to go out there and do whatever they have to do on the court. And that's the biggest problem with this roster. It's just not good enough. But they still do have a couple more years to figure it out. And they did technically sign on 5 years. So if they sign up for 5 years, 3 of those years might be bad to okay, depending on what they do with this roster and if they trade with somebody. But they're going to have to start developing talent. If they're not going to be able to get a superstar, they're going to have to draft one and develop them into one, or even just, tank out and try to get that number one pick. Even though I'm not a big tank person, this team is just bad enough that even if you don't tank, you still have a chance to win the number one pick. And they still have a chance to do it this year too. But they've been in a lot of rumors trying to trade for All-Star. They've been trying to rush the process just a little bit. But when you have an accumulation of the young talent that they have, I don't really blame them when they're not really showing signs that they can really become those type of players, even though we still do have to give a lot of these guys time, as they have never even been in the league for 4 to 5 years yet. But a lot of them haven't really shown the necessary progress or the necessary development for us to really get behind them or for us to really get excited. And that's just disappointing because they have had so many top 10 picks over the years, and none of them have really panned out. And even when it was Kristaps Porzingis, and he didn't want to stay here. He wanted to be gone, and he ended up going to Dallas, and they already in the playoffs within his first year coming off the injury, and he was an all-star for his first year with this Knicks team, and they let him go to the next year because he just wasn't happy. That's not a good look that your best player, your potential franchise player, don't even want to be with the team. He'd rather just leave. And he ended up doing the right thing because the Dallas Mavericks look pretty good in the future. But we got to give him a shot. We do. Even though we know that the Knicks have been terrible and poorly ran, we do have to give Leon Rose, I believe, and Tom Thibodeau a legitimate shot at trying to fix and trying to reshape and trying to regut this roster and change it into something that's respectable, something that people want to see, and something that really brings some really enthusiasm and excitement to the fans as they're waiting for this team to become back competitive, and they're waiting for this team to really, become the real mecca, where they're a championship contender team, they're a playoff team, and they really going out there like they did in the 90s and before then, and having a legitimate shot to get to the finals, a legitimate shot to win something. And they just haven't been that, even when they had Carmelo and even when they had Marbury. They've been always a okay to good team, but never a great to elite team. And we're going to see if Tom Thibodeau and the coaching staff that he brings and the general manager that he has now down there with them, can they tinker and create a roster and be on the same page coaching-wise while also being on the same page with the owner. That's something that we haven't seen within 30 years. So that's the odds of this working with the new coach and the new GM. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm going to wait and see. I'm not going to be hating on them. I'm not going to be dissing them. I'm just keeping it real with the Knicks fans. I'm just keeping it real with my fans. This team has just been a cluster, and that's not a good look. But eventually they're going to have to get it right. Eventually something going to have to go their way, and this might just be it. But we have to wait and find out. But let me know what you guys think. Should Tom Thibodeau have got hired? Should they went with somebody else like Jason Kidd? Should they went with Mark Jackson? Should they went with a Kenny Atkinson who can develop and change coaches? Or should they just went with the best available person and they feel like Tom Thibodeau? He can create them. He can get them mentally focused. He can change the way the team culture is like he did in Chicago and Minnesota, and he possibly can bring a winning season to this team. But can he get the championship team? Can he get the superstar? How long is they willing to invest with him? How long is they willing to, be patient? And how long is it going to take for this team to become good? Those are questions that I have, and those are questions that nobody can answer. We all will just have to find out 2 to 3 to 4 years later, and that will let you know if Tom Thibodeau won, if he failed, or if they already gave up on it within the first 2 to 3 years, which has been happening with the other coaches and GMs. So we ain't got nothing to do but wait and find out. But thanks for watching. Check out my website, analysisplayground.com. Link will be in the description comment section below. Check out my Facebook page, analysisplayground.com. Link will be in the description comment section below. Like on Facebook to show support. Thanks for everybody that liked on Facebook. Like and share this video. This helps the video grow. I'm not really asking you guys for much, but if you like and share, it helps the channel reach more people and grow and just be overall better for me. Thanks for everybody that does that already. Also, I do have videos, over 1,000 videos for you guys to watch, and they all come in different type of videos, whether it's breakdowns of legends, players, or summer league breakdowns, or just regular player breakdowns, whether it's playoff predictions, season previews, top 10 list discussion, just like this, or even if it's about trade deadline and free agency, I got you covered, as I do make a video each and every day. So if you like videos like this, check out my older videos on my channel. And if you like this video, you like my older videos, I don't see why you wouldn't subscribe and become part of the family. But other than that, another Tom Thibodeau signing, another chance for the Knicks to redeem themselves or embarrass themselves again. We don't know which one they would do, but eventually they're going to get it right, and we just don't know when. But this could be the direction and the chance they have to do it, and they took it, so you got to respect that. Now we just got to wait and see the results. But other than that, enjoy y'all weekend. I'll be back with another video on Sunday. Quinn Wade, basketball analysis, I'm gone, and the Knicks may be back.